What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. Thank you all for hopping in on this beautiful Thursday evening. At least I think it is Thursday evening. Is it Thursday evening, Cody?
It's Thursday evening,
January 2nd. It feels like the days just skip by, and it's hard for me to remember things nowadays. Maybe I'm just getting old.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to BetUS for powering today's stream. If you guys are looking for a sports book this year, look no further than BetUS. But guys, we wanted to talk about a couple things that were going on today. Wanted to talk about some more words that are being exchanged about the Indianapolis Colts and whatnot. And also just want to slightly talk about the final matchup coming up for the Indianapolis Colts as they face the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up here on Sunday. But yeah, Cody, I mean, this is there's a lot to talk about, and I think we wanted to start off the live stream with talking about what everyone's talking about here in the last few hours, and that was the Pat McAfee comments. Do you agree?
Yeah, we'll start there. That sounds good.
So yeah, so I'm gonna pull that up just to make sure I get this right. So Pat McAfee had some words to say about the Indianapolis Colts, and he brought up a couple of names that he said the Indianapolis Colts should not touch in regards to keeping them on the field. As far as everyone else goes, he said everyone else can go. And before we get into like anything else more crazy than that, we'll just go ahead and I'll play it and just see what because I haven't actually heard the clip. Cody texted me off while I was doing another show on Roundtable, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't hear that." And so we'll listen to that now. We'll see what this is.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let's fix this audio. Huh? Oh shoot, I forgot. I don't have my headset set up. Gosh, hold on a second, Colts fans. This is going to be an impromptu moment here. Cody, talk about something so I can get this thing open and then be able to listen with everybody else here.
Okay, so Colts fans, I'm going on Sunday to the game with my family. Should I wear a plastic bag over my head, or a paper brown bag, not a plastic bag?
Paper brown bag.
Paper brown bag. Should I wear it? And if so, should I write anything on it? What are your thoughts? Should I? Yes or no? Curious. Or should I wear something else?
All agree with me on that.
Should I or should I pull out a random jersey that I have? I have a couple random jerseys over here, Derek, that I could pull out of nowhere that nobody even would probably remember certain players, just lost in obscurity. Maybe.
Interesting.
I don't know. I could wear the old Chandler Harnish jersey, because why not? He actually went to my high school. I played with his brother. Fun fact.
Interesting.
Yep. That's like my one claim to anything with the Colts right there.
Okay, give me just
big brown paper bag, put Fire Ballard. You know, I also thought about Derek dressing in like a complete clown costume and then having like a name tag that says Chris Ballard on it. I think
just don't put the name tag on right away. Just
I could get into the game dressed as a clown. Let's do like the Jacksonville game, Clown Town, back in 2021. Let's do it.
Good work.
It'd work. It'd fit. Clown costume. That'd be funny. I would love to do that. I don't know if they'd let me in, though.
All right. Hold up a sec. Let me see if this stuff starts working.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I should have been more prepared.
Man.
Give me just a second. All right. I'm going to switch this
audio
over to this. And then let me see if this will come through my headset.
Ah, come on.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I heard it.
I heard it too. I got to get the volume up on this. I don't think there's a volume on the thing.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Everybody's agreeing the paper bag.
Dress as blind people because nobody has a vision. Oh man, Derek, if we were both going to this game, one of us could be Chris Ballard, one of us could be Gus Bradley, and we could just act like we're blind, and we could just be the blind. We could just do that. I think that'd be hilarious.
That's funny.
We just act like
All
blind
right,
people.
give me just a second here, guys. Let me.
They're
gonna take
No, it's not. Hold on.
Tractor another round. I think they have a chance.
Flacco's last game, possibly.
And a lot of people on that Colts team, hopefully, last game as Indianapolis Colts. That's kind of my hope. I wish we could transfer portal the whole fucking team.
Just take Ohio State.
We had like 70 guys that hit the portal. Can't do it though in the NFL, I guess. I've been trying to research it.
Thank you for your services. And
just in case I wanted to go pitch myself as president of the Indianapolis Colts. Not that I ever would, but I put a plan together and how to get rid of this entire fucking roster, except for Pittman. I want Pittman here. I want Pierce here.
D-Buck.
Let's keep Quentin Nelson. Let's keep DeForest Buckner. Let's keep Kenny Moore. I like Kenny Moore. Other than that, see ya. Every one of them. Goodbye. Take a hike. Thanks for coming. Jonathan Taylor, trade his fucking ass out of town. How do we go about doing it? You got a second-round pick? Sweet. First would be better. We'll do this for the good of the program. Anthony Richardson was a good project. Get him out of town. Fourth round or whatever the hell you got. See ya. That's what I would do if I was going into this place. Need a full reset of this. The more that comes out, the more I feel like
podcast.
Guys, great tackler.
What are we saying?
Guys, great tackler. I think he made a Pro Bowl.
He did.
You guys want him? Third, second round. That's what I would. I mean, I would do. That was what I would do. That's why I would never be a president of the team.
Do you think the Giants played that? Obviously.
I want to play a
All right.
There's more. There's more.
Oh, there's more.
terrible
He's
team.
going to go after Zaire right here.
Okay,
Watch.
thanks for being a champion. Okay, that's what, that's what playoffs are, just terrible teams in
Got you
big
a
markets.
45 burger.
I'm so sick. Just a whole, get them the fuck out of the city. I can't do it. Legit. But that's also why I'm a president GM. I think there's a couple moves you make, you can get your culture back. I think it's going to involve trading some big names, though, and saying, hey, that ain't how we doing it anymore. Now, will they do that? I have no idea.
All right.
Yeah.
That was everything.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Okay. So I want to address one thing first. And I love that you said fire sale because that's exactly what I said on Twitter after finding out what was it earlier? It was earlier about the no vision thing.
Oh yeah, about the veteran Colts player that said
that there's no vision in this team at all.
So, Derek, it's likely that it's one of your captains, probably, right? It's either
100%. I have to imagine that if it's a veteran player, then it's somebody that's been around for the majority of the Chris Ballard tenure.
Which would I think to me it'd be Kenny Moore, DeForest Buckner,
Quentin Kelly,
Nelson or Ryan Kelly. One of those.
Yeah, and I said Quentin Nelson sounded like something to me on that. But yeah, so
yeah.
I do think that he Pat was alluding to Zaire Franklin being one of them on that as being gone. Saying if you got rid of him and a few others that you'd get your culture back.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much to unpack here. Like how do I
let's talk about the players that he said that he would keep, and if there's anybody that you disagree or who you would add.
No, I don't disagree with any of those. Obviously he's not realistically saying that every single other person needs to be gone. But obviously in that moment, he's just talking about a few guys that he knows that actually takes it serious and said, yeah, then Tyler Robertson brings it up, like Josh Downs, for instance. Like, he's not insinuating Josh Downs needs to leave, but he's made it very abundantly clear that there's a bunch of guys on this team that if you could clearly get rid of and say, that's it, that's fine. Now, Cody, you got to talk with me here because who he did mention, the first name that he said, get the heck out of town, and because I'm not going to use the colorful language he did,
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor. Now, Cody, I know it has nothing to do with the production.
Sure.
It has everything to do with what you were saying, or what we've been saying for a while, was what happened last year. What happened last year, Jonathan Taylor, in the midst of a new coach, a new quarterback,
New agent.
new system.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you made the whole thing about yourself.
Mhm.
And you spent a good few months, you spent 2 months dragging the Colts organization through the mud till you finally got your contract and all this other stuff. And you basically made it about yourself rather than being a team player and just going along with it and trying to help out the young quarterback.
Yeah.
That's basically what he was probably insinuating. Now, does that mean that we need to get Jonathan Taylor out of Dodge? You tell me, Cody, because honestly, I don't think I understand what Pat is saying there, but that's a weapon I just don't know if you can afford to lose.
Well, Derek, on the flip side, though, I mean, we know, Derek, running backs can last they can be gone, very quickly. They can go from being one of the top backs. I mean, we've seen it how many years. Todd Gurley, for example, just fell off. Running backs at any time, that could happen. I think that's the one position I feel like you always need to be stacking the cupboard with it because you just never truly know. Now, Jonathan Taylor's a great player, Derek, but
elite player.
I will say that. He can take over ball games 100%. But you said that. I mean, he made it about him last year. I mean, some stupid mistakes, some unforced errors in key moments, Derek, this year that's cost you games. Again, I'm not saying trade Jonathan Taylor, but Derek, if there's any time to do it, it's probably now when you're blowing it up, right? You're at least getting some value back. If you're a new GM, man, it might make sense. I don't know, man. He's hurt a lot. He's great when he's on the field. He can run for 200 yards, but then there's those stupid unforced errors. Again, is that the coaching? Is that the culture? Is that JT? Is it a little bit of everything? I don't know, but I think if there's any time to do it, Derek, it'd probably be about now at this point because we've talked about it. Look at this draft. It's full of running backs. There, you can get a guy on late day 2, day 3 that can come in and realistically be a good back. I mean, Derek, how many times it feels like every year there's a couple teams that get these backs on day 3 that turn into really good players. Now, I'm not saying you get a guy in day 3 and immediately, boom, he's JT. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But, Derek, it kind of goes to show, that is what the Colts have done under Chris Ballard is they frankly paid players who either are injured or just haven't shown up. Now, JT's shown up. I'm not saying he hasn't. But he's been injured a lot. And running backs, that happens a lot, So, I don't know. I guess for me, I'm torn on it, but I would not freak out like some people would.
Here's my thing with it. If you truly believe that what Jonathan Taylor did last year that ultimately is affecting the locker room to the sense that of what we're seeing now, then yes, I would agree that it'd probably be a best idea to move on. But I mean, Cody, again, anyone that wants to act like he's not very important is
the
lying
offense.
to yourself.
He's the offense right now. I'm not disagreeing with that.
He is the purest part of the offense. 100%.
But if you're blowing it up anyway, Derek, why are you paying a running back that kind of money? I guess that's my argument. As good as he can be and as good as he is, why are you paying him that kind of money when you're not contending anytime soon? I understand the argument about helping AR out, but Derek, I kind of look at it as this is a good running back class. You're paying him what you're paying him. He's been injured. We know running backs can fall off like that. I think it's a position you need to be restocking every couple of years. So I guess I look at that and I say, if you're not contending, why are you paying that guy that kind of money to a position that, frankly, Derek, as good as JT is, you look at the positions and the importance of, paying guys, and we know how much the running back position has fallen off in recent years. Like, I mean, for goodness sakes, the Kansas City Chiefs got Isaiah Pacheco in the 5th or 6th round a couple years ago. Like, you can find good running backs in the entire
and
draft.
they don't have to be elite guys in order to, you
don't have to have the superstar running back, right?
Mhm.
And also, Derek, another point that we don't talk about enough: JT doesn't do anything out of the backfield in terms of catching the football.
It's all
that's,
running.
That's important, man. I don't want to pay I struggle to pay a running back that much money who doesn't help you out in that department. It just, in today's NFL, which is clearly, a passing league, it's important. If you don't have a running back to do that, I don't know. It's a struggle. And the Colts really haven't had a running back since Nyheim Hines has left. The Colts haven't had a running back that can do a lot out of the backfield catching the football. So if you're going to totally blow it up, Derek, I would not say JT's out of the conversation of being moved as well.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, especially if you get a new GM in there that says, hey, I don't want to pay a running back $14 million, then they may trade Jonathan Taylor and say, hey, like, we'll eat some of the cap. That's fine. If that means we get him off the roster and we get a good draft pick out of it and, you move on, right? Like, that is something. I have seen people do that before, and that very well could possibly be a thing. And again, like, we're talking again about guys that, set a bad precedent for,
it's not a bad precedent right there. He's one of your captains, and he's dropping the ball at the goal line. He's dropping the ball in a 2-point conversion, like that kind of stuff. That is a culture issue, Derek. And JT is right there, part of the problem too. Right now, he is, because he's the captain and he needs to be holding guys accountable. But here we are, same crap, different day. As good as JT is, Derek, is that the kind of precedent you want to set? I don't know. I guess that's up to the next person to kind of decide that, because I don't know. We don't know from that perspective, the outside perspective. But Derek, there's been some unforced things, some unnecessary drama the last couple of years. And if you're trying to reset a culture, man, I don't know. I'm not as much of a 100% slam dunk keep JT around. As much as I like him, I think he's a great back. I don't know.
So, hey, so get this. So this is kind of funny. This is off topic. Okay. But so this was going on. Did you see Logan's post?
No.
So look at this. Hold on. I just came across this. Hold on. I'm not even going to show it on stream. I don't want to get into it too much. But so Logan's having beef with EJ Speed now.
Great.
So he said, I'll say that I'm cool with 45 not returning. He said, hit me up to design a shirt for him. Spent a lot of time and money designing it and finding a company to produce it for him. And then he ghosts me once I get the finished product. He says it's not a big deal, but definitely disrespectful in my opinion.
Jeez.
And then EJ Speed quoted it and said, Logan, you were trying to make money off a Colts logo that me nor you own copyrights to, and it's illegal. And Logan said, I took the Colts logo off and offered to just send you one or send you the design to get it printed yourself. My point is, you could have had some decency to say, thanks, I'm good.
Dude, what the heck? What is wrong with our linebackers? I'm not even kidding. They're a bunch of freaking divas, dude.
And on top of it, folks, I don't know if you saw, but apparently Shane Steichen is going to talk to Zaire Franklin and EJ Speed about their podcast. Probably going to insinuate that, you probably shouldn't do that anymore. Because let's face it, if you can't help but watch yourself, if you can't stop what you say in public or on a podcast, then you probably shouldn't do it.
Dude, it feels like we're in freaking middle school again, man. Like, coaches having to talk to players. Like, let's grow up a little bit, please. This is ridiculous. It's like a teacher scolding a player or scolding a student after class, Derek. That's where we're at right now. We're freaking middle school, high school right now. Welcome back. We're officially back in middle school and high school. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
it's what happens when
this is
y'all start
wild.
losing, and then these people will start saying that you obviously don't spend as much time on the football field as you should be, and that's where we're at. That's where we're feeling it right
Isn't
now.
this wild that the thing that Pat McAfee said, everything in the last week since Pat McAfee made those comments, it's just exploded. Everything. It's crazy, man.
And Pat just has been saying, he says, like, the more I keep looking into it, the more that I just get more pissed off about it. I mean, because it just keeps getting worse and worse. Like I said, he's right. Like, it feels like the locker room is full of losers. Like, that's what it is right now.
Man.
And so the Colts got 3 Pro Bowlers this year. Did you see that?
I did. And a couple alternates, right?
I don't know who the alternates were, but I know Zaire, Jonathan, and Quentin were Pro Bowlers, and everyone is just taking the graphic and just putting the clown emoji over Zaire's face. So,
jeez, dude, this is like,
I have never seen an athlete, Cody, go from pinnacle, like, of what it stands for to be a Colt, to all of a sudden he is just like the most hated player amongst the fan base. I've never seen it like this, Cody. I've never seen it like this. It's wild.
Man. I feel like there's just it feels like every day there's some new random crap, man. It's just like every day it gets worse and worse. And I think, Derek, that's just like, you just got to put a flamethrower to it at this point. It's so out of control. It's almost comical how out of control it is. I don't know if, even in 2022, Derek, I don't know if we've seen it to this level of just ridiculousness. Oh my gosh, dude. I don't know why, Derek, but both of the Colts linebackers have just become just major jerks. Like, their egos have just gone crazy, man. It just bothers the heck out of me. And it's like when you're beefing with fans, nobody likes you, even on your own team. Like, your own fans are turning against you. And your head coach has to have a freaking sit-down powwow meeting with you. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You just gotta laugh, dude.
I so bad, dude. This is just so bad. It's just like, come on, man. Like, what do we? This is just so bad. And listen, take whatever words you want to from Pat McAfee with a grain of salt. It doesn't. Obviously, he even says it like, this is why I would never be the president or GM of a team, because like, I would do drastic things like that. And, and then the team would just be, destroyed. But, but like, again, at the end of the day, like, that's what we're saying, right? Is like, there's a reason why a lot of these guys are not favored by a lot of these people. I mean, Cody, we talked about it. And then you talked about the wide receiver group. Well, we can talk about the Anthony Richardson thing. Again, what Anthony Richardson did this year, he clearly was not ready to be a quarterback.
No. There was more in that article, Derek, that we didn't even talk about. I think there were people who, when it comes to Anthony Richardson, people who were shocked that he got the captain badge this year, because they said he wasn't ready. He wasn't mature enough. Like, people were shocked that he got the captain badge, And that should be telling right there, right? That you're putting a kid that clearly isn't ready. First off, it even admitted it. They shouldn't have started him from day one, because he wasn't. The maturity was not there. And and also you make him a captain 2 straight years, Derek, and he's not ready. Maybe he'll be ready, but he's not ready at that point. It's just, again, that tells you everything you need to know about the Colts this year.
So, like, here's the thing. So hold on. I want to pull this up. I need to see these comments, because
for what?
About Richardson. So there were 2 different things, right? I need to see what he hold on.
Found it.
So here's the deal. So Buckner was asked, today on, Richardson and when AR was benched and everything else. And Buckner had a meeting with him specifically. He even said, like, I signed an extension here because I had faith in you. And he said I needed to speak up and I tell him how I felt and that I still believe in him, but also know that he wasn't meeting the standard and that the standard wasn't being met and that he needs to pick it up. He says that he responded really well, but he said that obviously he was not living up to the expectation that we wanted him to. Now here's the other thing. Here's on the other flip side to that. So this was the veteran this year that was talking about it.
Yeah.
And where's the other one? I thought I had Eric's thing earlier. Hold on.
Which one are you looking
feel
for?
like I had to have seen it somewhere. Hold on. There was like two
other
parts
comment?
to the article.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was like two parts to the article. There was one thing talking about this, but then hold on.
Yes, I remember seeing that too. Let me see if I can find it myself.
The
exactly what you're
first
talking
one
about.
was like they were trying to hold Richardson accountable, which
Yes.
is understandable.
Yes.
But then the guy they put in wasn't the guy either. One Colts veteran said. So when they went back to AR, at that point, it's like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That really affected the team.
Yeah. I get it, though. Like, you tell, and we were so mad, Derek, because you go and spew that BS that he gives us the best chance to win, right? And the players, I'm sure, were like, okay, sure. And then you go out and you lay 2 goose eggs in a row. You look like crap on offense. You look worse on offense. And then you go back, and I don't blame the players. You're like, we clearly, it makes everything look like we have no clue what we're doing. That's what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and I get that. And also we've talked about it. The way you handled it, the PR standpoint was terrible. So it probably made things even worse for the players. So, oh man, it's just a disaster.
Here's my question to you, Cody. How do you think that everything that's going on right now, do you think that it's going to seriously impact how the Colts are if they try to decide to get a new GM? Like do you like with everything that's going on? They said that like, oh, there's no vision. You have players turning against each other. You have players turning against the organization. The organization is a laughing stock amongst its own fan base. Pat McAfee is going live every day trashing your organization. Now, obviously, he's trashing the organization because he hates the people that's running it now, because he thinks that and the players that are on it, because he thinks a bunch of the players and a bunch of the people who are running it are a bunch of losers, which is understandable. But do you think that all of this right now, all this noise over the last week is going to make it that much harder to get a new GM in here?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know, Derek. Like, how many times have we heard, stuff about bad cultures, and then you just got to get the right guy in there? And I think for me, Derek, it more just shows everything that Pat's saying is absolutely freaking correct. Like, you're seeing it, like captains only looking out for themselves and everything just continuing to unravel. If your coach is having to have a sit-down conversation with your defensive captain, that's a problem, Derek. And we've talked about it before. I mean, out of your 8 captains, how many of them truly helped you in a positive way this year, on a consistent basis? And we could say maybe half of them, if that tells you anything. And, you look at a couple of those players, DeForest Buckner, he's past 30. Ryan Kelly, he's getting up there, and he's probably not going to be back next year. So a lot, where is your core guys that are holding guys accountable? And then you have your captains, again, say what you want about AR, but tapping out of games. You have your captains dropping the ball at the goal line. You have your captains, and I love Pitt, but you have your captains fumbling the ball in critical moments. You have your captains not being able to cover, in the critical games. I mean, Derek, pretty much every single one of your captains has let you down in some capacity this year, maybe outside of like DeForest Buckner, honestly. It's crazy. And even him, I mean, you did not touch the quarterback on Sunday. You did not touch Drew Lock like all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's very obvious, Derek, at this point. It's just it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But again, Derek, it can all be solved. And I think Pat said it. Like, get rid of a few of those bad apples. Get rid of the ones who were making it all about them, right? I messed up earlier when I had an episode. I said there's no I in team, or I said there's no E in team, didn't I? And there is an E in team. I was going to say, you make it about I, there is no I in team. That's what I was trying to say. I think I said it wrong. But you know what I mean. Like, Zaire made it all about I, right? It's me. But there's no I in team. There isn't. But Zaire, it's been about him the whole year. That's what it's been.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad, man, because like I loved his story. I think he's earned everything up to this point. He's former 7th round pick. He paid his dues on special teams. It's just sad to see it come to that point where Derek, I think a year ago, he was probably one of our favorite guys on defense. It's just wild what losing does. It's just crazy. And also it's crazy what a little bit of money and a little bit of taste of success can do to people. Crazy.
Yep. 100%. Before we go any further into,
I did not know this.
Interesting. You guys get more views than Zaire. I don't know about that.
Let's check. I'm curious now.
Well, while Cody
Not
checks,
that matters that much, but
while Cody checks, just want to say again, guys, this stream is powered by BetUS. If you guys are looking for a sports book this year, look no further than BetUS. The Indianapolis Colts still remain as 5-point favorites against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not going to say we win. I'm definitely not going to say that we cover. So I'm going to once again take the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover the 5-point spread. And we'll just say an under for the 44 because, we know that Lawrence isn't going to play. So we'll put a 25 there. You can win $65.
Battle of the backups.
Bet right there.
Battle of the backups potentially, Derek.
Yep,
Joe
battle
Flacco.
of the backups. It sounds like Anthony Richardson won't play. We'll get to that here shortly. But also, guys, make sure to use the promo code YouTube150. Get a 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit, and then a 125% sign-up bonus on your next 2 deposits. Just make sure you use that promo code. But, of course, guys, always bet responsibly.
Hey, shout out to the Irish, Derek. They took care of business against Georgia. So, I mean, I know you're an Ohio State fan.
Shout out to the Irish.
But guess what? I'm always happy. I'll always root for Indiana teams, man. So shout out to the Irish.
I would love to see an Ohio State versus Notre Dame.
That would be great.
I would love to see Ohio State.
Derek, if Ohio
State
loses to Notre Dame, Matt is never going to let you live it down. I hope.
My team's not losing to Notre Dame, dude.
I'm just saying, if it does happen, I'm just saying, Matt's never going to let you live it down, man.
Or not. Their defense, their defense is good, but their offense is not. Their offense is nothing.
I haven't watched them a whole lot this year, but
their offense is about as ass as grass, dude. Jesus.
Anybody on the Notre Dame? Anybody in Notre Dame defense you'd want in an Indianapolis Colts uniform?
Yeah, Xavier Watts.
Watts. Heck yeah, dude. I've heard that name a lot. I would love that.
Yeah, I think he's a very common one. I don't know if he's going to be a first-round corner or not, but
is he a corner or safety? It looks like they're calling him a safety.
I think
they're calling him a safety here.
I know it says he's a safety, but I think he's more of a corner.
Yeah,
but would love Watts.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of guys. Derek, if you trade a lot of guys away, you might have a lot of draft capital next year. If you're getting rid of all your veterans.
Tyler Warren in the first round, and then you get Xavier Watts in the second.
Or you get
here's what I'm thinking. Either Malachi Starks, Harold Fannin Jr., and Trevion Henderson. That's my first 3. Or it's Tyler Warren, Xavier Watts, Trevion Henderson. Like, give me those three, either way on those, and I am a happy camper. I am a very happy camper.
You really like your guy, Trevion Henderson.
Oh, yes. He would immediately be a better running back than Trey Sermon.
Hey, how about Cam Skatebo? Is that how you say it, Skatebo?
Skatebo, yeah.
How about
Dude,
Skatebo?
I don't know, man. I don't know. He's not a high-end athlete. He's a grinder.
Derek, after watching Chris Ballard draft athletes for the last 10 years, I could give a crap if he's an athlete.
I know we're not drafting a running back now just because of the athleticism, but I would. But I mean, at the same time, I don't have but like I see Henderson. Like, look, I haven't watched a lot of Scotabo. I'll have to actually keep an eye. I'll have to look at some more stuff as time goes along. I'm just getting into the drafting part of everything. Yeah. One thing I do love about him though, and you saw it again in that Texas game, he's a dog.
He's a dog. We don't need the weak-minded anymore.
And that is what a guy like Pat McAfee would love, is he's a dog.
Yes.
Right? He's got that in him for sure.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, Derek, if and when Chris Ballard is gone, it's going to take me a long time to decompress from the RAS stuff, because that's been the Colts for the last number of years, hasn't it? It's been RAS. It's like, okay, that definitely has some sort of weight, but I want guys who are productive. I want guys who are productive in college, who can actually be productive at the NFL level.
Yeah,
Derek,
obviously, yeah. It's less. It needs to not be about athletes. It needs to be about. You're right. It needs to be about getting guys that are going to actually be productive. So,
you know what it will be. I'm just thinking about this. If Chris Ballard is gone, you know what's going to be just so amazing this year is we can actually talk about free agent signings.
Yeah,
it's going to be so nice.
We haven't really gotten a chance to do that since 2022.
Oh man, that'll be so nice. I'm gonna be so excited, dude.
And even then, it still wasn't amazing. We brought in Stephon Gilmore, which is nice.
We brought in
Stephon Gilmore that year, and I think that was about the only big name one that I have seen.
Brought in Eric Fish. No, that was
2020.
What was 21? You're right.
2021, yeah.
Who did they bring in? I don't even remember. They brought in him and Matt Ryan. I
want to look it up now. Hold on.
Remember Matt Ryan? The corpse of Matt Ryan?
Ah, shoot. Yeah. You remember that.
Oh, man. I was hoping he got one more year.
All right.
It's sad because we should have given Phil Rivers one more year. I wish he would have stayed one more year. And we should not have given Matt Ryan one more year.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, somebody brought in the name Brandon Faison.
Oh my god.
Oh.
We signed Matt Pryor.
We signed Matt Pryor. Oh yeah, he was our
Yannick Ngakoue though.
He was all right.
We did get Yannick Ngakoue that year. We traded Rocky team for it.
Yeah, he could get after the quarterback somewhat, but he could not stop the run to save his life. I remember that.
Yeah, and then we had Matt Ryan. You are right about that. We let go of Odom. We let go of Pascal. We did sign Armani Watts. So,
Derek, I got a name for you. This isn't even 2021. Do you remember Devin freaking Funches?
Oh, God,
he made one catch in week 1 and got hurt for the whole year. And you paid him $11 million and he did nothing the whole year. Oh man. Do you remember? I'm trying to think of some of them that Chris Ballard brought in. Who was the receiver? Ryan Grant. Do you remember that? They brought him in to be the wide receiver 2 in 2018 and he did nothing the whole year. Mm-hmm. Throw in some other ones, guys. Al-Qadim Muhammad. Oh yeah. Rodney McLeod was a freaking good signing, and I'll stand on that. I loved Rodney McLeod.
Listen, I'll just say this.
Pierre Desir.
What's funny is that one Lialu that defensive
Jonah
tackle
Lawler, yeah.
that we drafted this year
Yeah.
with our last pick. You know, he was getting sacks for Green Bay against the Green Bay Packers, or
We
against
would do that. We
against
would with that. All right. I got one, Derek. Somebody said this, so I got to pull it out. I've had this since 2017. Can you read that?
no, I can't read it.
Oh, shoot. Well, anyway, Jonathan Hankins.
Oh my gosh,
I got this
Jonathan
from
Hankins.
I
Dude,
got this from I
was so
Arby.
destined to think that he was going to be the next great thing.
I love Jonathan Hankins. I'm still mad. Like, I know Grover's great, but I'm like, I was still like, I was upset when they cut him. I was like, dang it, why? Eric Fisher, Ryan Grant. Yeah, that's a poll, man. Trey Burton. Oh my gosh, I forgot about Trey Burton. He had like 2 or 3 touchdowns in a game randomly, and they did nothing the rest of the year.
Yeah, he had 2 against the Bengals. Yeah.
Oh man,
Eric Ebron.
I would take Trey Burton over our tight ends right now.
And let's be honest, we know for a damn fact that Eric Ebron was not a good signing. The only reason he was good was because of Andrew freaking Luck.
Dontrell Inman. I love me some Dontrell Inman, man. In 2018, Dontrell Inman was solid. George Odom. Oh, man. I'm still mad we let him go.
Oh, yeah. Special teams ace was always a solid, was a solid safety whenever we had him.
Okay. Danico Autry. Chris, that makes me hate Chris Ballard more that he let Danico Autry leave over a couple $1 million. And he freaking tortured us for like years after that. Terrible. Autry was a freaking dog, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to go Kwity Paye instead of him, right? I think that's what they did. They let him go and they drafted Kwity Paye and Dio. I'm pretty sure, right? Was that year?
What
year?
He was
there 2020. 21, they decided to move on from Autry go, which was a terrible mistake. And they drafted 2 defensive linemen. And I think Autry is better and has been better over his career than those 2. I miss him. Okay. Chris Carter's son. I remember what was his name? What was Chris Carter's son? Do you remember? I remember him, but I don't remember his first name. Oh, that's going to bother me now. Jelani Woods. Oh, I forgot about Jelani Woods. Freaking Jack Doyle.
EJ Speed is going on a blocking spree.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't blocked me yet, to be honest. Jack Doyle, man. I miss me some Jack Doyle.
I miss Jack Doyle so much.
It felt like ever since Jack Doyle and Anthony Costanzo retired, things have gone downhill. Honestly. Yeah. They were both so freaking good. Like, nobody talks about them. They were so good.
Xavier Rhodes.
Donnie Avery, man. Yep, that was a great
Xavier Rhodes. Even though it's sad that he was just like near the end of his career and, he just wasn't the same.
I miss Khari Willis, too. I miss Khari Willis.
He just proceeded to go and do some other things that were more important than football.
I respect it, but I still miss Khari Willis because he was so solid. Deron Carter, thank you.
Who was the player that quit during COVID?
Player who quit during... Oh, yeah. Oh, what was his name? It was a corner, right? That quit?
Oh,
what was his... Oh, they drafted him late in 2019. What was his name? That's going to bother me now. He was a big guy, right? He was a big guy. I think he played safety and he moved to corner. Do you remember him?
Oh, was it Marvell Tell?
Marvell Tell, yes, thank you. That's a poll, too. Xavier Rhodes, Autry didn't walk. Kristen want to pay him. Still believe. Okay. Quincy Wilson. Hey, I still have. That was like my first interview at Colts camp was Quincy Wilson back in 2018. Who was he competing with? He was competing with. Was that 2018 or 2019? I think it was 2019. Actually, he was competing with Rock. I think for that number 2 outside corner. I'm pretty sure. Don't you ever disrespect Jack Doyle. He was not Stonehands Doyle. Are you joking, bro? Stonehands, no. He had the.
I will say this: he did have a fumble problem.
Okay, but I don't care. I love you.
Problem.
I will
Outside
not.
of that, though,
yeah,
it's like one of the last few guys from the last great generation of Colts.
Hey, how about Roosevelt Nix, who got cut before the regular season? I remember that.
I remember that too.
T.J. Carey. Oh man,
T.J. Carey. This is what this stream has become. We are just
Henry Anderson. I remember Henry Anderson. I liked Henry Anderson. That was a Grigson guy. Griff Whalen. Oh no, man. Not Griff Whalen.
Y'all are killing me right now.
You know, the Colts had like this streak going for a long time where they would just find like a random white wide receiver that would play like that would do like special teams for them. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They'd have like Blair White, they'd have Anthony Gonzalez, they would have like all these random guys that would just like they wouldn't be like good enough, but they'd be like your fourth wide receiver. And he had Griff Whalen too, obviously. Darius Hayward Bay, nobody misses him.
After we beat the
what was that?
Hold on. I gotta listen to this. It's
Jabal Sheard. Oh man. I love Vontae Davis, man. He was so good in what was that? 2014.
We're gonna be the only team in the NFL history with 2-15-2 seasons. Fucking best franchise ever to be on the face of the earth.
What is this? What are you listening to? Marlon Mack.
Oh man. The problem is like y'all keep mentioning these players' names, man, and they all old. And like that's the crappy part of all this.
I just miss them, man. I miss Marlon Mack.
Old, bro. They was old when they came to the Indianapolis Colts, man. They wasn't ready.
Derek, we need Isaiah Rodgers back.
No,
Donald Brown.
No, you don't.
Derek, do you remember hashtag Feed Moncrief? I remember that.
Dante Moncrief.
I remember those days.
Again, another product of Andrew Luck.
Okay, let's keep going. Levon Brazil. Oh my gosh. I'll never forget that freaking catch he had in the AFC wild card against the Chiefs. That was wild.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll pull one, Derek, because I'm thinking of like old forgotten receivers around Andrew Luck's era. Derek Rogers. Do you remember him?
No.
Number 16 for the Colts.
Oh, I do remember.
Yep.
No, wasn't Derek Rogers. It was Chester Rogers.
No, Derek Rogers was, and then Chester Rogers was number 80. That's another one.
Oh,
there's two of them. Chester Rogers was around when Andrew Luck was here, like in his 2018. I think he played in 2018 with them, and some other years. Wilson, Pierre Desir, Collie. I forgot about Austin Collie. I can't believe I forgot about Austin Collie.
Isn't that like a really old name now, though?
He's old. He was like he got drafted in 2009.
Early 10s, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I remember, I think he was like still on the roster Andrew Luck's rookie year, but he was hurt, and then they just moved on from him. But I miss Austin Collie. That rookie season for Austin Collie was freaking legendary.
Yeah, if he didn't have a career-ending concussion.
Yeah, he didn't get a hospital ball thrown to him. No, do you remember that, though? The Colts in 2009, they had Reggie, they had Pierre Garçon, and they had Austin Collie and Dallas Clark, who caught 100 balls that year. Yeah. And they were freaking stacked.
Marvin wasn't on the team at that point, was he?
No, Marvin was gone. They drafted Austin. No. Yeah, Marvin was gone. I know that. I think he left after 2007. I'm pretty sure Marvin left after 2007 or 2008, maybe 2008. And then they drafted Collie.
2009, after the 2008 NFL season.
Yeah, and then they drafted Collie in the...
He sat out the entire 2009 season and then retired after that.
Yeah, because they also had Anthony Gonzalez. Do you remember? You remember Anthony Gonzalez, a former Buckeye?
Oh, yeah. I remember Anthony Gonzalez. He was my first Colts jersey.
Malik Hooker. Oh, man. What could have been, man? I still think we messed up by letting him go. He's still playing. Jacob Tammy. I remember Jacob Tammy, man. That was like in middle school for me. You remember Jacob Tammy?
Oh, yeah. I remember Jacob Tammy.
He was solid. Kobe Fleener. Justin Houston. I liked me some Justin Houston when he was on the Colts. That was a early Ballard free agent move that worked out. Him and Autry were some really good finds early on. Marcus Hunt. Derek, you remember Marcus Hunt?
I do remember Marcus Hunt.
The Estonian giant, I think that's what it was. Kobe.
We're just going down this rabbit hole.
Why not, man? I mean, likely Ballard's gone in a couple days. Why not reflect on the?
I hope he is, dude. Because I'll tell you what. If that motherfucker, that guy is not fired by Monday.
I mean, I agree, but chill out.
Then we're gonna burn this whole podcast down with it. Like everything just goes to stressful.
Yeah, we need that.
I can't. No, I gotta. No.
Squeeze
the
that.
Colts
Whatever you gotta do.
cannot do this to me. They have to let go.
Jim, Irsay, if you don't, Derek might burn something down. So please, for our sanity and for Derek's legal situation, please fire Chris Ballard.
Please.
Okay, Vic Ballard. Speaking of Ballard, Vic Ballard, the best Ballard that's ever been in Indianapolis, that's for sure.
You're already demonetized. Let it out, breadstick boy. Yeah, true. They won't do anything to this one.
Remember the former legend, Jacob Eason?
The former legend. The guy that could throw a 70-yard pass standing still.
Yeah. Anytime anybody tells me that from now on, I'm going to be like, but is he good? Like,
we need another breadstick stream. We all got to get us to 20K. I told y'all once I get to 20K, we do it.
Where are we at? I haven't checked today.
19,775. So 225 subs left.
Yo, also help us get to 2,000 on Bring the Juice Reacts. We're at 1,775 actually. So we're getting there. We're growing every day. Zach Pascal, such a good player. DeQuell Jackson. You know what Zaire reminds me of? DeQuell Jackson. He gets a lot of tackles, but he can't cover worth a crap.
True.
And he blows up and makes situations so much more dramatic and so unnecessary. It's a carbon copy, Derek. I'm telling you what. I'm telling you. You remember the Deflategate crap? You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but Derek, do you feel like Zaire would do something like that? Maybe I shouldn't ask that. Maybe that's not a fair question. But you're not answering no, so that kind of tells me what I need to know. But anyway, let's keep going. Ben Banagoo. We interviewed Ben Banagoo, fun fact.
Yes, we did.
Back in, what was that, his rookie season or was that his second season? I think it was his second season. Going into 2020. Just another Ballard bust.
Audie was saying, any Colts fans still curious about what Isaiah McKenzie did to get suspended, then cut?
I just think it's so funny that so many people are just like, he just shot a bald eagle. And like none of that's proven to be true.
Nobody said no, that's not what happened. Just nobody said anything. Logan said whatever it was something so effed up, nobody can speak on it.
You probably just, I don't even know. Yeah.
And nobody will tell you though.
Well, that's such a weird situation. It's just like, yeah, they're disciplined, and then we just didn't hear anything, and we just had no clue what happened.
Yeah.
Just weird. Okay. Derek Rogers, Austin Collie. Thank you. Marcus Johnson, man. He had that game. Marcus Johnson.
That Bengals game in 2020. I was in the hospital with COVID during that time.
Yeah. Oh, you were? Really?
Oh, yeah. That was the week that was the week over a week where I was in the hospital. Yeah. I was supposed to go to that game.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that because we were going to meet at that game or something.
Yeah. I was supposed to go originally with my family, and then
crazy.
I was going with my dad, but then I just let my brother and my dad go. So
Yeah, I was at that game actually with my friend Andrew. Actually, Andrew Thomason. We were at that game. All right, Paris Campbell, your guy right behind us, right behind you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Naheem Hines, AC, Baker Mayfield. Derek, remember when we were like, why not Baker Mayfield? And everybody called us stupid. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We kind of were like open to the
that's
idea.
a great point now that I think about it, like, look at what Baker Mayfield has done. He's found himself a really nice home, and you know what? I'm happy that he's not here.
Yeah.
I'm happy he's not here because then he wouldn't have to fall into the pitfalls of this regime,
Fair. All right, Philip Dorsett. Remember him? I remember being visibly upset when he got drafted. I remember punching the bed. I was so angry because we had like 5 wide receivers and we drafted another one for whatever reason.
Yeah, and it was one that wasn't even like one of the top 4 in the whole draft.
Well,
class.
I'm like, I remember specifically saying, wow, I'm so glad we drafted another receiver while our quarterback's getting killed back there. And that was when like Landon Collins was available and some other guys were available. It was just like the most luxury of luxury picks. And you just signed Andre Johnson too. You remember that? You signed Frank Gore, Andre Johnson, Todd Hermans, and Trent Cole, and all those guys. You went all in on like all these old guys, and it just didn't work out at all.
Yeah.
All right, another one. Philip Lindsay. Philip Lindsay. Blair White. Yep. Oh, man. What could have been with Jack Mewhort, man?
Jack Mewhort.
I love Jack Mewhort.
I got an autograph of one of his
photos
somewhere.
Oh, the fastest safety in the draft. Fastest safety ever. Remember them? TJ Green. Clark was great. Yep. Zach Banner. Do you remember Zach Banner at all? I could just do this forever. Derek, do you remember Zach Banner? You probably don't.
I do remember Zach Banner. Yeah.
He was a tackle that the Colts took. I think, was it Chris Ballard that took him or was it somebody else? I don't remember. But I remember they took him and they cut him like literally before the season started. He was like humongous.
Oh, yeah, he's huge. He was like 6'8", 350
pounds or something.
50 pounds or something,
yeah. Curtis Painter. Man, Curtis Painter. Got us Andrew Luck.
Do you think Jim Irsay will clean house? He needs to.
Brandon Stokely. Mike Vanderjack. Idiot kicker. Deion Kane. Oh, man. Edwin Jackson, rest in peace. Brandon Stokely. Oh, Stokely, man. He was before my time, before I was a real, like, I became a fan in like 06. So I think he just left. Yeah. Let's see. T.Y. Hilton. Of course, T.Y. Hilton. Hot Rod. Derek. Oh my gosh. And we still haven't fixed the kicker.
I will say, Hot Rod did give us one of the most epic field goals of the last few years for the Indianapolis Colts. That walk-off field goal, that walk-off 54-yarder against the Green Bay Packers.
That was awesome.
That was
a
awesome.
Crazy game, dude. Okay, so curious, like since we've done this show, we'll take a pause real quick from these, but I'll get to some more of these. So since we've done the show, what has been your all-time favorite stream that you have ever done? Like a live play-by-play? That's a big, I know it's a
few,
big
yeah,
question.
a few come to mind, especially since you and I have been streaming since 2020.
Yep.
So it's been that many years.
Going on year 5. Wow.
It's been a lot of them.
Yes, it has.
I don't know if there's one that is considerably bigger over the other.
You want me to pull up like the biggest ones we've ever had?
Well, I can name you a few. I can name you a few of my favorites.
All right.
The one that always comes to mind is the Jeff Saturday presser.
Oh, That was
when
epic.
Pat McAfee showed up in our stream. We had almost 10,000 people watching on YouTube. And that was unbelievably wild. I will never forget that. I will never forget that we had 10,000 people, almost that many people reacting to us reacting to this stream, and Pat McAfee just so happened to stop in for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That'll always be amazing.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers win from back in 2020, that was huge. I loved that. That was just such a fun moment.
Yes.
The game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where that one guy stopped in and gave us like $500
that was
in
wild.
streams. That was wild. In donations. That was wild. Yeah,
it was a good one.
I'm
trying to find some more here.
A couple of really good streams in that 2020 year. In that 2020 year, that was some of the most fun I've ever had streaming.
Yes.
Because
it was a good year.
Because of all the wins we had.
Yeah.
It was just a lot more fun to watch.
That was. I was wondering if you were going to say that Patriot game in 21 when the Colts
I was half tempted to say, like, that was one of my favorite moments. Was that not my favorite streams, but like favorite moments was JT breaking free on that run.
That was crazy.
And that was wild.
Let's see.
It's unfortunate that like it feels like for some of these streams sometimes that like they're not as fun anymore as what they used to be.
The team isn't very successful anymore in the last couple of years. So.
I will say this. I always appreciate our draft streams.
Those are a blast.
Always appreciate our draft streams.
Is there one in particular that stands out over the rest for you? Like, I know we've done them since. You did one in 2019, and then ever since then, I think we've done one every single year together.
Yep.
Except for, I take that back. 2022, I was at a wedding, so we couldn't. But other than that, we have tried to do it as much as we can every year.
I think the 2023 one were with Anthony Richardson, because you and I were so invested, because we were most likely knowing we were going to get a quarterback in that draft class.
Yeah. That's true. That's
you and I were very into that one. And then the other one, probably 2021, when you came over to my parents' place for that draft class for that one.
That was
and we spent all weekend, all 12 picks, brother.
Yes.
12 picks. There were times where you would be asleep and I would have to do the videos.
Yeah.
And there was times when I would be asleep and you'd have to do the videos, because we were so swamped with content.
That time of year, like when that all happens, that is the most I'm on my phone, like, and doing, like, I feel like I'm always doing, there's always something, right? There's always more we're doing. And it's just crazy. Like, that time of year is so wild within the 48, 72 hours. There's so much content that's packed into that. It's literally like, I don't even know last year, Derek. I think well over 20 videos of some sort that we had. It was crazy. There's so much you can talk about.
Yeah. Evan Osborne saying, how'd you two meet anyways?
Wow. So we met.
I already knew you, because when I was on Twitter and whatnot, when I was starting to follow a bunch of Colts people, I already knew who you were. I knew you had your podcast that you were starting. Listened to it every once in a while. And then, I said I wanted to start doing that. And then you and I started, you allowed me to do it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started doing it together. And now for over 5 years, We have, in over 5 years, almost 6 years now. It's almost been 6 years. And we have been doing videos together.
That's crazy. Yeah, I started this show in 2019, January 2019. So Derek, actually, let me pull this up because we're approaching I think we're approaching year 6 of the show. Let me pull it up here.
It is year 6 of the show because you started in 2019 when the Colts
they beat the Texans. That was my first.
Yeah.
That was the first episode,
and it was like one of the first few weeks of January in 2019.
4 days from now, it'll be 6 years officially that Bring the Juice has been a thing.
And it didn't start as Bring the Juice, but this podcast from its original existence.
I don't even remember what it was at first. It wasn't the Cody Felger podcast.
It was the Cody Felger podcast.
It was something else.
Cody Felger show or something.
I'm pretty sure it started out as something else, even like early on.
You guys should get a studio when you guys get big. We'll certainly hope so. We'll certainly try to do that.
We got.
I am probably going to be moving soon, closer to Cody, so there might be some more IRL content in the future.
Yeah. Well, I say, Derek, we still got a long way to go before we could even do this full time remotely like this. So we got a while. Yeah, for sure. But I will say this, Derek, the good news is I feel like every year we are making it more of a reality. We're still not, I don't think we're even close to there yet, but we're getting there. I think every year we're getting a little bit more closer. So that's a win.
It's a new name. It's called Bring the Depression.
Yeah. Honestly. Oh, man. Good memories, man. Good memories.
My boy, what up, Ruben? How you doing, my guy?
Ruben, why are all the teams in the AFC South dog water? Like every team can't beat anybody right now.
Y'all can podcast in my garage and y'all can call it the Juice Dome. Not too weird. Oh my God, Derek, you move so much, dude. I know. I move a lot.
You have ADHD. You have ADHD, don't you?
Yeah, well, of course I do have ADHD, but it's not my ADHD that makes me move. It's just the fact that I moved. Okay, so I moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what he was saying. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I thought you on camera.
I'm 3.5 years in with you guys being number one Colts podcast. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Ruben saying we all suck, bro.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, our division's trash, bro. Remember how we were saying like this was going to be one of the most competitive divisions in all of football this year? Yikes!
Nope, not happening. I can't believe we've been doing it for that long, though. Oh my gosh, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's flown by in certain
ways.
Yeah,
I mean, I moved in 2023. It's about to be 2025. Yep. It's 2025 now, so it's been almost 2 years.
Yep.
Okay, so
we've both moved a lot. Honestly.
I moved a lot recently just because I was in Texas for a few months. Then I moved back home, moved up to here almost immediately because that was my plan right after Texas.
Yeah.
But from that time on, I like from 2019 or 2019, 2021, I lived in the same place. I mean, like I either lived in Kentucky or I lived it back at home.
How much?
It's not like it was that. It's not like it was that many times, you know.
How many times has it been officially? Have you counted?
Since I've graduated college, how many places I've lived?
Since you start in 2019. How long is it? How many?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 places.
Okay.
4 places since 2019.
Same, actually. And
it's about to be 5. So
okay. Yeah, let's see. I think, same. So I started off, I had my first job out of college, started up this podcast up in Northern Indiana. Actually, if anybody in the chat knows Mishawaka, so actually Notre Dame area. So was up there, then lost my job, and then I moved back for a little bit of time with my parents in 2019, going into 2020. And then Derek, I worked at Lowe's for a while, did the podcast, and then COVID hit. And so we were stuck at home. I still
Mhm.
worked somewhat, but it was very part-time. We were stuck at home. We did the podcast, and then I started another job in Fort Wayne.
Ruben, we got a spare bedroom, bro. Come live with
Where
us.
does he live? Where does Ruben
He
live?
He lives in Texas, bro. He's a fucking Houston guy.
Okay,
He's-
well, I didn't know if some of them don't. So
he ain't moving up here to cold ass Ohio
I don't
to
blame
have
him.
to deal with that, man. He ain't gonna want to deal with that.
Yeah, but anyway, I moved to Fort Wayne for a job. So I was 3. I mean, if you count my living with my parents for a little bit, that's 3. And then I changed jobs, and now this is number 4. And then I bought a house, so this is 4. So there you go.
So I mean, it's not that crazy, you know.
I miss Fort Wayne though. Have you been to Fort Wayne before?
I've been through it. I've not really stopped in it, but I've been through it. So
Yeah.
I it's funny because my fiance's friend lives in Fort Wayne, and she was talking about coming over to see us before we moved, but yeah, that's
nice. I worked at a church, so that's a fun fact. That's what I do right now. It's what I went to college for and everything. So I work with students actually. So that's kind of my full-time thing. So
you got that bipolar weather though.
That's
That
true.
is facts.
It's very
That is
true.
facts.
It's true. Yeah. It's amazing, Derek, how many people we probably have crossed paths with that are maybe even in this chat that we didn't even know. It's kind of wild. There's Fort Wayne, Warsaw, Goshen, Syracuse. Yeah, I know all those places, actually. I had a friend who lived in Goshen, so I would go up there a lot. I love Goshen. Goshen's a good spot. Just as good. Where are you located? Curious.
Didn't he say? Oh no, people keep saying it's Fort Wayne, but that's other people.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if he said where he was from. Maybe he'll say it again here. So Fort Wayne wasn't too bad with the weather, honestly. More up north is the lake effect stuff. That's a lot worse for sure. Fort Wayne, it was pretty mild. Oh, he lived in Cali.
Cali, sadly.
I was gonna say if you
get out of California, bro.
If you lived in the area, I would in Fort Wayne area, I might know what church you work for actually. So
All right. Well, honestly, I don't even know if I even want to talk about this final game. All we'll say
what
is
do you even say, man.
All we'll say is I'm not sure if Anthony Richardson's gonna play because
it's trending towards not.
It's trending towards not. And that is
would you start people are I've seen the Jason Bean propagandist, Derek. What do you think?
It's what they should do.
But they probably won't. It's probably gonna be Joe Flacco.
Play Bean, lose,
why not?
Get the 11th pick in the draft, help your draft position, you freaking losers. Ballard, save us one good thing left.
Van Wert.
Before you march your door on the way out.
Yeah, I've been to Van Wert. Yeah. Yep.
We should do an Indy 500 stream.
I know nothing about that.
I love the Indy 500. Been there a couple times.
So, okay, real quick. Somebody was asking us, Derek. So the situations that the Colts could be in if they lose versus if they win, draft-wise. What do we got? Okay.
Let me look at it real quick. NFL draft order. Here we go.
Yeah.
Tankathon. I visit it often. All right.
Yes, I visit it about every year.
So currently we sit at the 12th. Well, thank you, just as good. I appreciate that. We sit at the 12th pick currently. So if we win, worst case scenario, we would finish at the 15th pick, which is exactly the same spot we were in last year.
That dead in the middle.
That would be worst case scenario. If we win and everybody else that would have the same record as us loses, then we would be at the 15th pick. Now if we lose, then the only thing that we could move down to was the 11th pick. We will move down one.
Which I'll take that. I'll take an 11th pick.
I would gladly take 11 because then you could be at pick number 43 rather than pick 48.
And honestly, Derek, that puts you in some pretty good striking distance if you feel like you need to trade up for somebody.
Honestly, yeah.
And, at least 2 quarterbacks are probably going to go. And Derek, I feel like there's every year where there's one random quarterback. I know it's not a great class this year, but it feels like there's about every year where there's at least one quarterback that gets taken before they should or before they're projected.
11 is not too high for a tight end.
No.
If you feel that Tyler Warren is your freaking guy, then go get Tyler freaking Warren.
Please.
If you don't want to get him and you want to get Harold Fannin instead, please go get Harold Fannin Jr.
I know. He's your guy. You got a guy every year that you like. Who was your guy last year? I forget. Yeah, I know you have.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I feel like you have a local guy though, like that goes to the college you graduated from, goes to BGU, and you're like,
well, we did have Carl Brooks that came out of BGU.
I remember him
last year.
a couple years ago. I remember him. Maybe he didn't really have like a.
I didn't have one out of BG recently that I really liked, but
yeah.
But this year I do. And I have a insanely good feeling about Harold Fannin Jr. And I think that that is a very good thing to know.
Okay. Derek, I want to, if it's all right with you, I'd love to stay on here until about 8:30. So I have one last thing I'd love for us to do real quick, if that's okay with you.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So obviously Pat McAfee early said he'd keep certain players. So I'm curious. I just want, if you're the new GM, you're putting your GM cap on right now. That says right there, GM of the Indianapolis Colts, right there. Okay, there you go. You got it. All right. So you have the choice, new GM Derek. You have the choice. Who are you keeping currently on this roster, and who are you absolutely moving on from? Who are your guys, and who are your guys you're like, we're getting capital for them. We're trading them away or cutting them.
Well,
tough question. I know it's hard.
I'm keeping Taylor. I don't agree with McAfee on that.
Okay.
Wide receiver wise, I mean, everybody is practically safe right now. Don't really think there's anything that you would change there right now.
Would you look to upgrade?
Oh yeah, I would definitely look to continue to upgrade.
Okay. Tight end.
Offensive line wise, I'm not keeping Ryan Kelly.
Okay.
I'm not bringing back Braden Smith.
Is he up for a contract or is he still under contract?
I think he's under contract for one more year, but I need to see that.
You trade him? You would trade him away?
Free agents. I need to see it. Hold on.
Okay, I'll pull it up here.
Yeah, pulling it up.
So Braden Smith, yeah, he is until he'll be an undrafted free agent next year. So you have him at least for one more year.
So we do get him for one more year.
Would you trade him away or would you keep him?
I would try to trade him. I would try to trade him.
Has been good. I think he's been fine. I would keep him. He's cheap, and I'd feel fine. So next year, you're potentially running it with 2 guys that are rookies this year. So Bordellini will be your starting center of the future, and then you have Matt Gonzalez as your starting right tackle.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
no tight ends, right? You're not keeping any tight ends.
The only tight end I would keep is Will Mallory. That's the only one.
You wouldn't even give like Mo.
I would also sign Mo Alley Cox to a veteran contract.
Very small.
Veteran minimum.
He can't be your number
I'd give him that 1 year, 1.1 or $1.2 million contract because that's all he's worth.
Something small. Yeah.
That's fine. And I don't think there's any Colts fans that would say that's the worst thing ever because that's what he would be worth.
He's just
So
blocking.
Will
that's all
Mallory
he's
and
blocking.
Molly Cox. You can get rid of Granson. You can get rid of Drew. You can get rid of Jelani. Although Jelani's on a rookie contract, so it's not like it's a big deal.
It's like you keep him, but you don't rely on him, and you
right.
go
You're
all
not
out
relying
him.
on him though.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah. So that's it. Defensive wise, I would be.
This is where it gets tough. This is very tough.
Well, I mean, I'm not cutting any defensive linemen right now because Kwity Paye is going to be here till 2026.
Do you trade any, though? That's the big question.
That's a great question.
Like, do you trade Kwity Paye? Do you trade DeForest?
I don't think I will keep Dio Adangbo.
Okay.
I would trade Samson Ebukam for whatever I can get for him.
All right.
And then as it stands right now,
mm-hmm.
I would trade Defoe.
Okay.
I would trade Defoe because he deserves better than this, and we're not going to be successful right now. So he deserves better. We can get good compensation, even if he's only 30 years old. He is still a elite defensive tackle. Somebody would be willing to pay some decent compensation for him. Maybe a couple seconds for him.
That would be sad, but I get it.
And then we're getting rid of we are trading Zaire Franklin. We are trading Zaire Franklin, and we are cutting EJ Speed.
He's not. He's a free agent. You just don't touch him.
We're just not bringing him back. So we'll run with Carlisle, and we'll draft a linebacker somewhere, or pick one up in free agency.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Hey, Bobby Okereke reunion.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that.
And then in the secondary,
okay, real quick before you go to the secondary, would you trade Stewart as well? Because he's older too. He probably deserves to go somewhere where you're actually going to win, and he's expensive.
Yeah, probably. It's
and also, Derek, I love as much as I love Grover. I mean, a one tech like in terms of
one tech that only stops the run is just not.
It's like in terms of like value. I mean, if somebody's willing to pay a decent pick for him and you get him off your books, I mean, if you're gonna blow it up anyway, why keep him around? Give him an opportunity, man.
You're not re-signing Blackman.
Absolutely not.
You're as far as that goes, everybody else will just get a chance to just compete.
So you're drafting or signing a safety then? A free safety?
Yeah, I'm drafting a safety, I would like to think.
You're drafting a safety. Okay. So pretty much an overhaul in the defense in a lot of areas.
For the most part, yeah.
You're at least adding, or you're at least not keeping at least one or two players at each position group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't want Blackman near this roster at all. I think he's been terrible this year, Derek, to be honest with you. So, yeah, and I think, Derek, you add a corner. I would add a veteran corner in there too, 100%. I don't know, man. I agree. Like, there's some guys that got paid that shouldn't be paid at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Offense is fine, Derek, but, you add a tight end, you draft like a Tyler Warren or something like that. But, yeah, I think if you can upgrade at wide receiver, you do it. I really do. And if that means getting rid of Pittman, as much as I like Pittman, you need a number one. You need a dog, and you haven't had that under Chris Ballard.
Yep, 100%.
And I love Pittman, but the reality is, Derek, he wasn't good this year. I know he was fighting through the back injury. I would be fine to keep him also. Like, I would be okay with it. But if you can upgrade, I wouldn't. And I know you can't address every single position this offseason, but wouldn't be opposed to that. I would keep Womack too as some depth. I think he's been better than the alternative, so he's been fine. Jalen Jones has been fine, so I'd keep him there. You're still missing a number one corner. So there's a lot there. I mean, you don't have a number one corner on your roster, in my opinion, Derek, or one that can stay healthy, that is, either. If you want to say Juju could be that, but again, he hasn't proven he can be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you restructure Pittman's contract. Maybe, I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe there's some guys you can restructure too within this. Like, I wouldn't mind that.
Yep.
But yeah, and I think Brent's is a similar thing to Jelani Woods, Derek, where he's gonna be, you keep him on your roster, but you don't rely on him and you don't count on him to play any significant role. And if he does and he surprises you, great.
Mhm.
There's a lot of those guys this year where you're like, yeah, if they surprise you, great, but if not, you move on, you cut bait, you go move forward.
Yep.
And I'm fine with that. Oh, man. Well, anything else, Derek, you want to talk about before we hop off here?
No, I think that's it, man. I mean, we covered a lot. I mean, this stream went longer than I thought it would today, so.
Yep. This has been fun. People have been
Yes, sir.
people have genuinely been pretty good today. There's not been a lot of hate comments, which is a positive sign. Maybe we're getting better at it. But yeah, it's been good.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. And again, shout out to BetUS for powering this stream. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We'll continue to bring you guys more content, but I'll do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.